This segment of Packard Pokes At was made possible by patrons of the show and viewers like you. Please go to patreon.com/PackardPokesAt to help support the show. Thank you. There's been a lot of talk lately about hate crimes and hate speech, and this particular hate speech came from Houston, Texas, and there was on Friday the 13th, which most people consider to be a bad luck day. It's just another day to us. The Cuba Islamic Institute was engulfed in flames and burning for well over an hour, and the local firefighters were unable to put out the fire for at least an hour. It took them that long to put it out. And although the school and the mosque were spared, the fire destroyed the center and much of the religious books and the possessions it stored. A man by the name of Dustin Heron, or Heroin, I forget Heron, it's Heron, Heron, and he said in a Facebook post, it says, "Let it burn, block the fire hydrant." I'm like, what the fuck? Just because of somebody's religion, if their house is on fire, I don't care. Even though I'm an atheist, if your house is on fire and you believe, that the juju monster is your god, I'm still gonna fucking save your house if I can. If you're Islamic, if you're a Christian, you're a Jew, if I can help, I'm going to. For me, though, I mean, personally, I'm not an experienced firefighter. I can still call 911, but at least I would be feeling like I'm assisting in some manner. But to say that you're going to tell others that, hey, block the fire hydrant, that is a matter of hate speech. And officials there are looking into it as a hate crime because the fire is believed to have been started intentionally. If he wasn't unfortunate enough, the Islamophobia, it's going by the page here, it says that it wasn't possibly fueled, that the fire didn't die when the flames were put out, and if you don't have to look any farther than social media to prove it. And that's basically what I read. And the thing is, they had also several days prior had chased off some shady character who had been hanging around the building. Joe, your thoughts?
I think that this is a clear example of bigotry.
Yes.
Because when firemen, I don't know if the firemen, it says right here, Crystal Beach Volunteer Fire Department. Okay, so whether or not they're volunteer or they're paid firemen, when people become firefighters, they have to take an oath. And their oath is that they would sacrifice their own life to try to save others. That's why firemen run into building burnings to try and save small children. They even run into buildings to save people's pets and stuff. It's such brave work that they do. And the work that they do is something that they do without discrimination. They don't show up to a burning structure and they go, okay, is this a white family's house or a black family's house? Is this a Jew's house, a Christian's house, or a Muslim's house? They don't show up to a mosque and say, all right, you know what? Block the hydrant, let it burn.
Right. Although there was a couple years back that somebody down in the south didn't pay their fire tax or whatever.
That's a different issue. That's bullshit, because fire departments shouldn't have to be paid to put out fires.
Right, I agree with you there. It was just a story that happened a few years ago.
This is a volunteer fire department, which means they're not being paid.
Right.
At least, I hope not.
But a little under the table.
Here they showed up to put out the fire, and he's saying on social media, block the hydrant, let it burn. He's bringing his bigotry against Muslims to work.
Right.
To his volunteer position. And that's inappropriate. That's very inappropriate.
Right.
Like, now what if it was a Muslim firefighter that was rescuing his wife from a burning car?
Mm-hmm. Or what if it was a Muslim? What if a Muslim had gotten on there and said, "Oh, that's just a Christian church. Block the fire hydrant. Let it burn."
It would be all over Fox News. Bill O'Reilly.
Oh yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yep. Exactly.
So it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
It is bullshit. And the thing is here though. The fire department here is saying that they have no record of him being a member of their fire department.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they said. Yeah, it says here, Dustin Heron is not a member of the Crystal Beach Fire Department, nor has he ever been a member of our fire department.
Why are there pictures of him in the fire truck in the article?
I don't know. It says here, we are in the process of trying to track down Mr. Heron regarding the comments he made.
So he used to just show up to shit?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
What?
And
No,
it
there's
says
more to this story then.
yeah, and then it says we've also notified the Galveston County Sheriff's Department regarding Mr. Heron's falsely stating he is a firefighter within our organization. I don't know. Is there a law against saying that you're a fireman? I don't know. I tried to look it up. I was unable to find anything about that. If somebody out there would clue us in if this is against the law, say hey I'm a fireman.
Well, I did try to look that up, but it's dependent upon, I think, local municipalities what the fines are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like criminally impersonating somebody, an official.
Okay.
Here in Washington State, criminal impersonation in the first degree.
Okay.
A person is guilty of criminal impersonation in the first degree if the person A, assumes a false identity and does not act in his or her assumed character with intent to defraud any or for any other unlawful purpose, pretends to be a representative of some person or organization or a public servant, and does an act in his or her pretended capacity with intent to defraud another or for any unlawful purpose, or two, because those were A and B. Two, criminal impersonation in the first degree is a Class C felony. But what I was finding on the internet was that it just varies from place to place. What I find interesting about this picture on the article, Crystal Beach, of Dustin Heron, I find it strange the picture aspect behind him on Ladder 1 truck, because I just don't know. I mean, and I'm looking at his garb. I mean, he's wearing all black. He's got some like finger sensitive gloves on.
Mm-hmm.
And the garage floor is obviously wet. What, did he just wash the fire truck? Is that his job? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just like a paramedic.
And yes, okay, because
he's got the almost SWAT team pants with the multiple
Yes.
pockets, the cargo pants, and he's got the paramedic scissors sticking out of his pockets.
I was wondering what that was.
Picture.
thank you.
I thought that because it's so close to the tire, I thought maybe it was just some kind of green thing that was on the tire. But looking at it closer, yeah, that's a pair of scissors in his pocket.
That's tools. They use that to cut people's clothes if they have to in an emergency situation. And this guy, I mean, he's wearing rescue gear. Like, I mean, it's all store-bought stuff. It's not like official. He's not wearing a fireman's jacket or a helmet, but he's wearing the kind of clothing and gear that a first responder would wear, and he's standing next to a fire truck. So of course it's like, oh, okay, he's a member of that fire department. But if they're saying they have no idea who this guy is, like, what? That's fraud.
Yeah.
Like,
It is
if he's
fraud.
showing up to rescue calls and trying to help out, then
No, right. He should have some identifying numbers or something on his person. Maybe he was a volunteer firefighter 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It could be he's making it could be just he's making a totally bullshit claim.
Yeah.
But
Or it could be possible that this also came to me that because they said that they're claiming that he was never a part of the fire department. They could just be covering their own asses to save themselves from litigation. That's another possibility.
It is, but I am more inclined to think that it's just somebody who thinks that because he showed up to wash the truck and he knows what they wear. Now, the other thing I would like to say, and that is that the church, the Cuba Islamic Institute Center, has been extremely gracious. They've had other, very racist things that have been posted to their Facebook page by, for example, they show one here. Also, Osorio, he says, I can donate some bacon sandwiches and a Bible if you want. And their response to it was, we would gladly take your donation. Knowledge is something we can never have enough of, and we may feed the homeless in our area with the sandwiches. You are such a thoughtful human being. And
trolling them back.
So, just like, good for you. They did, but as far as this guy goes, I really hope they catch him, because again, it doesn't matter what impersonating a police officer or a firefighter or a first responder is not a victimless crime, and it's not something that the counties should wink their eye at. They may or may not be able to catch him, but his claim is definitely persecutable. But it just depends on where you live.
Well, there is one profession.
What the laws are.
Well, there is one profession where you can pretend to be a fireman, but you end up taking off all your clothes. So, stripper, So I've heard. I've never actually seen this. I've heard.
Neither have I, because I never watched Magic Mike.
This is incomprehensible. The fact is that this guy here is going around saying this kind of shit, and this is right there. It says this is a hate message.
Hate over ideas.
Yeah.
Is stupid. This is ideas. This is why we should be talking.
Right.
It doesn't matter what it just doesn't matter to me. It's like, you know what, I don't believe in invisible beings, but guess what, I shouldn't be able to hate you and do say awful things to you about it. Really? Ugh.
Yeah. Does anybody have any last comments on this?
If this guy's posing as a firefighter and this fire department legitimately has no idea who this guy is, then this guy, it's almost like stolen valor,
Yeah.
Like, this guy's an asshole. He needs to fuck off.
Exactly.